This was some heavy shit, Doc.
I'll say.
Yeah. Greetings and welcome to... What are we on, episode 3 of Like a Podcast?
Yeah, this is episode 3 of Like a Podcast, because, you know, it's kind of like a podcast.
Only on a hilariously tight budget.
Yeah.
Wait, no. Our budget went up. We now have $3 to use.
Yeah.
Actually, no. We used 5 of that to go see Endgame, so now we're broke again.
We used 5 of $3?
Yes.
We're magicians!
Yeah, but this will be our spoiler-free discussion of Endgame. You can, we will hopefully have our spoiler in-depth discussion posted sometime next week after everyone has hopefully seen Endgame, because if it's not clear just by me telling you this, go see Endgame. This is easily one of the best movies I've seen this year so far.
Yeah, in fact, I'll just posit the idea right now, though.
Yeah.
We'll do this in 2... We'll have an episode 3 and an episode 3.5 that you can post, like, maybe Wednesday or something.
That's good.
Yeah.
Then episode 4 will be, hopefully, next week with Tristan. Which, he's not here with us because he had his own... He does his own thing with his dad, which I think he mentioned that last week.
He might have, yeah. He doesn't... He goes to see Marvel movies with his father.
Not just Marvel. He does comic book movies in general with his dad.
Well, he saw Shazam with us.
Yeah, but...
He's going to see Godzilla with us.
Yeah, he is, which we'll have that close to the end of May.
Dragging all y'all.
Now, first and foremost, obviously this movie is 3 hours long, so it has a lot in it. But it didn't really feel like it was 3 hours to me.
No, it felt like it was 3 hours to me. In a good way.
It just kept going by so fast, because my phone was off, so I didn't look at the clock at all. It's like, there was no point in this movie where I was looking at the clock on my phone.
I never look at the clock on my phone in a movie. Even Hellboy, I didn't do that.
Yeah, well, you haven't seen a movie bad enough to make you do that, then.
I saw Hellboy.
Yeah.
I saw Wrinkle in Time. I saw Transformers 4 in theater.
And at no point you checked the time?
No, I just don't do that.
Well, I do it.
I let the movie be my timekeeper. When it ends, I know basically what time it is.
Right. So, people have made the analogy that not only is Infinity War and Endgame one big movie, but Infinity War is Thanos' movie. This is easily the Avengers comeback movie.
Oh, easily. This is... I mean, Thanos is in this.
Thanos is in it, and he has more screen time than Brie Larson does. Which, before we saw the movie, Tyler looked up how much everyone in this movie has screen time of, and how much time
she only has like 15 minutes.
She had...
It didn't feel like that. It did not feel like she even had that much.
Right. She supposedly had 15 minutes in a 3-hour movie, which even then, it just goes to show you how much the Russo brothers really didn't like her.
Well, again, I believe the story is they didn't want her in this movie, but that's neither here nor there. Let's just talk about the movie.
As spoiler-free as possible. They are at their peak, acting-wise, because they've gone through 11 years worth of build-up films to this point, and it really pays off. It shows you exactly, I think, the best that they've been throughout the MCU in the past 11 years.
Well, this is probably the best MCU movie.
Yeah.
They just enjoy this, and Infinity War tied together are pretty much the magnum opus of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Followed by Winter Soldier, Civil War, Guardians of the Galaxy, both films, and maybe the original Iron Man, and Thor Ragnarok.
And Thor Ragnarok, definitely. In terms of just writing and acting, directing, all of that's just on point and kind of perfect in this movie.
It is, and the cinematography is really good too.
Yeah, it's just... I like the first Avengers movie quite a bit, but Joss Whedon is definitely not suited for film, really. That movie is very much looks and shot like it's for TV.
I get that. This is definitely on like a grand scale. I mean, and it should be. I mean, 11 years. Hello? And, okay, so Now, I'm going to spoil this fact simply because it makes you realize how unnecessary Captain Marvel's movie is. So, at the end of Infinity War, in the end credit scene, we know that Nick Fury turns to dust as he's paging Captain Marvel. At the end of Captain Marvel, there's a scene where the Avengers have the pager hooked up to a bunch of computers and they're analyzing it, and it's just like, boop, Captain Marvel's here. That is not how they give away Captain Marvel in this movie, and I am relieved. It's somewhat more believable how they introduced Captain Marvel into this movie compared to that, which makes that scene completely pointless in Captain Marvel, therefore making Captain Marvel's movie even more pointless.
As somebody who hasn't seen Captain Marvel, I can tell you right now, you do not need to see Captain Marvel to see this movie.
You really don't.
I think that's the reason Captain Marvel made so much money, by the way. It's just because they were like, oh, we gotta see Captain Marvel to figure out fucking Endgame. And I'm like, nah, Ant-Man and the Wasp is more important.
Yeah, and that's just one scene in Ant-Man and the Wasp. Not even a scene, it's an end credit scene.
Pretty much.
Which, Scott Lang was really good in this movie. Again, Paul Rudd is a treasure.
Paul Rudd's great. I don't really like the Ant-Man movies, but I like Paul Rudd in all of them.
Yeah, Paul Rudd.
I think this was peak Ant-Man.
Ant-Man was definitely at his best in this movie.
If we don't get anything else with Ant-Man, which we probably will, but if we don't get anything else, I would be satisfied with just this.
Yeah. If we get him at all in anything in the future, maybe it'll be like a spin-off movie like Next Avengers or West Coast Avengers or something like that, just him being on another team made up of all the Avengers in this.
Hell, we're getting a Black Widow movie, I believe, next year.
Yeah.
It's like, if we weren't getting that, I would honestly at this point just be satisfied with just this.
Yeah, which, this movie, the way it ends, opens the doors for what they could potentially do in Phase 4.
It opens the doors for a few things, and it closes them for others, and yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, but it definitely opens them for the characters that are getting sequels, because they don't really end very well with those characters since they're getting sequels anyway, so it'll make people interested to see those sequels at the very least, like the Guardians thing.
That or people are just gonna
buy tickets to see him anyway.
Yeah. Oh no, you just spoiled something.
Shut up, butthurt commenters, like all two of you. If that. Yeah, but Guardians, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man.
Stop spoiling it!
At this point, they do have sequels announced at this point. I
know.
Is there anything else announced besides Black Widow? Sequel-wise?
Eternal. No, I don't think so.
Alright, well, it'll definitely make me interested to see those movies.
Yeah, because you needed motivation.
Yeah, I'm definitely the one who would go see them after that, which is the end of the Infinity Saga of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Which, honestly, to me, it doesn't feel like they could go much anywhere from this.
They actually can go a couple places, but I don't know if they would. Like, you mentioned in the car that they would, if they bring in Doctor Doom, you'd be all for that.
Yeah, I'd be all for that, but...
Which, they might.
Yeah, they might.
Because
we got a couple of years to build that up.
Yeah, because they have 20th Century Fox, which means they have Fantastic Four. And they have Deadpool now. I don't think they're going to do anything with Deadpool.
I doubt it.
Still waiting on that X-Force movie.
No, that X-Force movie got canned.
Ah, crap baskets.
What were you expecting?
I was expecting an X-Force movie.
Why? That's why Fox shouldn't have bothered trying to build something.
Because Deadpool said we were getting one.
Yeah, well, Deadpool lied to you. Deadpool didn't know that Disney bought Fox.
How dare you lie to me, Deadpool? You're a meanie. You're a liar. But they probably will bring in the Fantastic Four. If nothing else, than to just use the Fantastic Four.
I'd imagine.
Let's see.
Now, do you want to know what's odd to me?
What?
Is that everybody's getting TV shows after this movie. Like a bunch of characters, like Scarlet Witch, Loki, and,
is that going to be on Disney Plus?
And Falcon and
Bucky?
Yeah, it's going to be on Disney Plus. Yeah, Falcon and Bucky are going to get their own show,
which I will not be able to watch because I'm not getting Disney Plus.
Yeah, I got ways. But
You will hook me up.
yes, I'll hook you up. We'll watch these. We'll watch this together. I'll explain to you my ways later.
Yeah. Which anything you want to say on your part after seeing this?
Well, I thought this movie was great.
The movie was great.
This isn't my favorite movie of the year. Not so because there's two movies I like more than this.
And they're horror films.
Yeah, well, one of them's technically a horror film. The other one is definitely a horror film. Us is definitely a horror film.
Which I still need to see, by the way.
Yeah. And the second Heaven's Feel movie is... that's still considered a fantasy film, but is technically a horror movie. But,
yeah, I've gotta see Us. That's next on my list.
You know, I was expecting this movie to be great. It wasn't one of my most anticipated movies of the year, because I think we've got I think I explained this at some point in the last podcast. Unless of course it got deleted. Yeah, I kind of hit burnout.
Yeah.
I think it was Spider-Man Homecoming that burned me out.
Yeah, because the only thing that you're looking forward to now afterwards is the Spider-Man stuff.
The Spider-Man stuff and Guardians 3. The Guardians stuff.
Which we will discuss.
And then I'm also looking forward to the Venom stuff, but that's for a completely different reason.
Yes. Please... Yeah, I need to see Carnage. I need to see Carnage on the big screen.
It's gonna suck.
I don't care. Well, as long as I see Carnage and he's animated somewhat decently.
It's gonna suck.
I don't care.
You're gonna care when it comes out and it sucks.
Shut up. That's future Guardian talking.
Venom sucked.
Yeah.
It was kind of amazing, but it sucked.
Yeah, if you watched both of our top 10... his top 10, my top, 55 movies I saw last year? Yeah, if you saw those lists, you'll know our thoughts regarding Venom. That it sucked, but it was entertaining.
It's a terrible movie, but
it's like a tire fire. It's like a tire fire. You find some sort of enjoyment.
It's like The Happening.
Yes. It's like a Shyamalan movie. Are we sure Shyamalan didn't have any part in Venom?
No, he didn't.
You're right. There would have been a dumb twist about Venom somehow being destined to be joined to Brock.
I thought that was the twist.
No, the twist was...
No, Venom said... I remember Venom saying something like that. But whatever, we're talking about Endgame.
No, the twist was that...
Talk about Endgame!
I know, but the twist was actually Venom had a thing for Eddie. That's why he kissed him. Back to Endgame. I can't really think of anything else without spoiling it.
I think part of that's because we just got done seeing it and we need to talk about it.
Yeah.
And we didn't write this all down.
We didn't. We never write down the stuff for podcasts.
I mean, nobody does.
Exactly.
It's like, if this were a formal review, we would have written it first.
We would have written it, we would have scripted it, we would have filmed it, I would have edited it, and we would have waited about the course of 3 months before we got it done.
Well, not for a short review.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I guess non-spoiler talk is over, so here's a commercial real quick.
And welcome back from that, advertisement that may or may not have been there. We might end up making this one big podcast, we might not, we'll find out. But on to the spoiler discussion, so if you have not seen Endgame, I'd recommend clicking away.
And they kill Thanos in the first 10 minutes!
Ah! Okay, well, first let's start at the beginning, because we all knew when we saw the first trailer with what's his name, Clint, with him killing people in Japan, we knew that his family was Ash, and that is exactly what we got in the first few minutes.
Whole family,
his entire family,
is gone,
and it was that white picket fence setup shit too. Like he's teaching his daughter archery.
It's all nice. So they're having a picnic.
They're having a picnic. The boys are playing catch. He's teaching his daughter archery, and then
and then they're just gone.
Yeah.
And you see the dust. You see the particles of the dust.
You still see them in the wind.
So he doesn't realize what happened
until it's too late.
Yeah.
And now
Clint is out for there was probably a news story on it afterwards.
Most likely, but
because everybody else knew who Thanos was at that point.
Right. And I think that the music, like the Guardians type of music, during the cinematic Marvel Studio credit was it was a bit soon after the seeing Clint's family evaporated away.
A little bit, but
I've come to expect that from these movies.
Yeah. Then they give us enough time, honestly, to kind of sink it in.
They do. They like hold on Clint looking around for his family for what? Maybe like 10 seconds?
Yeah.
It's a good solid 10 seconds of him just running around.
Yeah,
trying to find
Clint's got another scene in this movie later.
Oh, yeah.
That just made me tear up quite a bit.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that, but
get to that part too.
Yes, no. Continuation! MCU, we'll get to that! We're back, baby!
No, we're not gonna name us that.
Yeah, no. We see Tony and Nebula on the ship, and apparently it's just...
No, I really just like that small little scene
of them playing football.
Like the paper football.
Except that that was like metallic paper or wrapping for food or something.
Yeah, stuff like that.
And she was like trying to aggressively attack it.
Yeah, immediate at first, and then she kind of starts to get into it a bit. And at the end, they're just like, yeah, good game.
She still shows no emotion, but it's really cute. It's a cute moment.
Nebula is great in this movie.
Karen Gillan, you can't tell that it's her underneath the CGI and the makeup, but she didn't really have much in Guardians 1. Guardians 2, she started to develop something more with Nebula, and Guardians part... Oh, wait, we're not even there for Guardians 3 yet. My bad.
Were you about to talk about Guardians 3 without it existing?
Yeah, I got ahead of myself. I'm sorry about that. But in Endgame...
Guardians 3's not a thing yet.
In Endgame, she is given so much good stuff. It is really showing... Nebula is actually a good character.
Yeah, especially... No, they especially later on, it's like, it's so clear how much she's grown since the first Guardians.
And you're honestly proud of her.
Yeah.
Especially the small bits where she's like also taking care of Tony because she's a cyborg, but he's completely flesh and blood.
Yeah,
it's like
he
offers her food,
the last of the rations, and she's like, "No, you take it."
Yeah, and when he eventually like passes out on the floor after recording Pepper's memento for Pepper, she like sits him back up in the chair and covers him up. It's really nice.
Yeah.
And I mentioned this in the spoiler-free portion of this, but that is not how they introduced Captain Marvel. The Captain Marvel movie is a lie, and therefore even more pointless.
Yeah, honestly, though, this would have been a much better introduction to Captain Marvel.
You know...
Like, you didn't even need to have Fury have a pager or whatnot.
Right. Because
basically she just finds him in space randomly.
Yeah. And you know what? This is actually Captain Marvel at her best because she has her mouth shut for most of the movie.
Because we don't go listen to Brie Larson talk.
We don't. But yeah, she basically tows the Guardian ship back to Earth, and we do see the survivors there. Steve, Pepper miraculously survived, so that's less of a burden on Tony.
Yeah.
And he just completely snaps in the middle of that thing.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of get it. He just went through quite a bit of shit.
Yeah, he lost Doctor Strange. He saw...
Well, he didn't give a shit about Strange.
I know, but seeing that Strange was the guy who gave Thanos the stone, it's like looking at him with, what the fuck did you do type eyes. He basically saw everyone around him except Nebula turn to dust, and the thing with Peter, that still hurt me when I rewatched Infinity War.
Hell, clearly it hurt him too.
Especially so.
Because that's the reason he goes back to help everybody after the time jump.
Yeah.
Is because it's like they come to him with the idea. He's like, no. It's like, I've got something better now.
Yeah, and he sees an old picture.
He looks up a picture that's him and Peter, and he's like, no, I gotta do this.
Yeah, he takes responsibility.
Yes.
Funny how that works, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, but before any of that happens with Tony going back for them, they wrecked Thanos in the first 10 minutes!
Yeah! It's like, they're just like, okay.
Yeah,
Captain Marvel's just
Captain
like,
Marvel's
I'm gonna go kill Thanos now. And they're like, it's like, we know, Nebula's like, I know who he is, let's go team together, let's go do that.
Yeah,
they
everyone...
get to the planet where he's at, Captain Marvel just blows through the building, starts wrecking Thanos, holds him down.
Banner in the Hulkbuster armor helps.
Yeah, Banner in the Hulkbuster armor comes in,
grabs the gauntlet. Thor axes it off.
Yeah, Thor cuts off his hand. Wasn't Rhodey there?
Rhodey was there. Rocket, Black Widow, Captain America.
Yeah, Black Widow and Captain America. It's like they're all holding him down, and it's like, and they look at the gauntlet, and it's like, where are the stones? Thanos is just like, I destroyed them. No more temptation. You can't bring everybody back, fuckers. And then Thor just cuts his head off.
And then we get one of my favorite lines about it, and someone asks Thor what he just did. Thor goes, "I aimed for the head."
Yeah, no, he says that kind of more of like question like.
I aimed for the head.
Like kind of like.
What have you done?
Like, there's nothing we can do.
And the biggest bombshell in this movie at the time that we were watching it, 5 years pass.
I mean, I had heard a rumor that was going to be a thing.
I didn't expect it to be that long, though, because with TV shows and movies, I have a history with time skips, and it usually pisses me off, but here, it just shows you how deep in the shithole what's left of the Avengers are at this point.
Yeah, everybody just kind of goes their separate ways. Like, the Black Widow's set up...
She's basically a secretary in the Avengers office.
Yeah, she's not even the secretary. She's essentially the director.
She's the director of the event in the Avengers office. She's communicating with the Guardians.
She's got Rocket and Nebula off doing stuff in outer space. Carol's doing her own stuff.
With a new haircut that makes her look more like a man, mind you. Which, I'm sorry, I still hate her.
Yeah, and of course, she doesn't show up again until the very end of the movie.
Which, thank you. And Rhodey's off at...
Rhodey's in Mexico.
Yeah.
She's tracking down Clint.
And, you see how brutal this is for everyone. Like, Natasha is her own different sort of brutal compared to Steve's own sort of brutal, because he's basically not an AA sponsor, but someone who just talks to people around a circle.
He's just talking to people, like essentially group therapy.
It is
since the world's essentially gone.
Yeah, and it's depressing seeing them, and it's all the more hopeful when you see them get back up. But with all that, I don't think anyone had it worse than Thor. Where would you guess that? Maybe New Zealand or something? It's on the coast of an island.
Iceland.
It's off the coast on an island. He set up shop with New Asgard.
Iceland, Greenland, somewhere around there. Maybe even Alaska.
Maybe.
No, it wasn't Alaska.
No, it's not that snowy. The Valkyrie is there, which I was happy to see her because she's awesome.
Yeah, I was glad to see that. And no, I was glad to see Korg and Meek weren't snapped.
Korg and Meek. We survived. Wait, we also survived the blast in space. How the hell did that happen?
Hey, we're playing Fortnite. Want to join?
Yeah, and let me tell you, I am... Okay, Thor looked fugly in this movie.
When Thor showed up with the long hair, the long beard...
He had a beer gut. He had a Homer Simpson beer gut. He really let himself go.
Yeah.
Because, I mean,
can you blame the dude?
You can't, but, geez, seeing someone like that fall from grace. I mean, someone in the last movie who had Stormbreaker in hand shouting, "Bring me Thanos!" With the hair, his new haircut, mind you, and the beard, well, I've noticed you've copied my beard. And seeing him scruffy, homeless, and out of shape like that...
He's got a beer gut.
Yeah.
He's just sitting around with Cord and Meek all day, drinking beer and playing Fortnite.
Yeah, on the PlayStation 4. Sony. I guess that's a Sony plug. But yeah, seeing Thor like that, it was hilarious and also a bit uncomfortable.
It was a bit uncomfortable, but that's kind of the point.
It is the point.
Because the dude essentially failed big time.
He did. He fucked up hardcore. And
it's like, even killing Thanos, he wasn't able to correct his mistake.
He wasn't, but you know what I found one of the most hilarious things? Okay, 5 years passed, and of course at the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp, Scott's trapped in the quantum realm. I had no idea how they were gonna do it, like if they're gonna go searching for him or not, but a rat fucking freed Scott.
Yeah, just a rat randomly
crawling on the controls.
Yeah, the rat saved the universe.
Splinter! It's Splinter! It's connected! Yeah, but Scott's freed and...
Ninja Turtles crossover.
Exactly, because they're crossing over with Batman in a few months.
Alright, that's a DC.
I know. But we see... We see an outsider's perspective of this shit, like...
Yeah, it's like
that's the unique thing.
It's like the free Scott gets freed from the quantum realm, and it's like he's just walking around, and it's like everything's all ruined. Then he comes across this monument that has all the names of all the people who got snapped.
Which I expected that to be huge, but good grief, that was huge.
Yeah, that was pretty huge, and then it's like he finds his name up there.
And he's like... What the fuck? What? But I'm alive, right?
Yeah. Ant-Man's actually really important in this movie.
He is, which anyone who said otherwise...
I mean, he didn't crawl up Thanos' ass.
Unfortunately, he did not crawl up Thanos' scrotum, expand, and implode. Which is sad. That would have been funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, he finds Cassie and it hits him how different it is.
Yeah, it's 5 years later. Cassie's
practically all grown up.
I mean, she's like a mid to late teenager at that.
What would you say, 17?
I don't think she's 17. How old is she in Ant-Man and the Wasp?
Ant-Man and the Wasp, she's like maybe, I'm gonna say maybe, she's still young and innocent, so I'd say maybe 8.
I'd say 9, maybe 10.
Probably 10.
So probably around 14, 15.
Let's say 16 at the latest.
Yeah, but it's like, and then he goes to the Avengers, who at the compound. It's just
their minds are blown.
Yeah,
that Scott's alive.
It's just Cap and Black Widow.
Yeah, she hung up on the rest of those guys.
Well, she didn't hang out. The call was over.
Yeah,
I kind of wish she had hung up like Captain Marvel, but you know.
Yeah. What do you think about Natasha's hair? With that, it was white in the last movie, and it's got white tips.
It looks really good.
Yeah, she grew out her natural hair color again.
Yeah, we'll talk about Black Widow more later.
Yeah, but the white tips looked really good. Then again, I think Scarlett Johansson is pretty hot regardless, but that's a good look. And I'm surprised that Scott managed to remember all this, considering that in Ant-Man and the Wasp, they kind of emphasized that he's not that mechanically inclined in terms of, like, quantum physics and shit.
Yeah.
Which, seeing him show his stuff like that was pretty enjoyable. Because without him, and later someone smarter than him, they would have been completely screwed.
Yeah. And then, of course, it's like, he comes to Cap and Black Widow, and he's like, it's like, yeah, for you guys it's been like 5 years, for me it's been like 5 hours.
Which the idea of the quantum realm was opened up in Ant-Man and the Wasp, and they sort of, they didn't really expand that in this movie, but they just made use of that.
Yeah.
Because there's still a lot of questions regarding the quantum realm, like...
Which I don't care about.
I really don't, because if I think about it any longer, it might just make my head hurt. And so they need someone...
It's like we can use it to, like, travel to other points in time.
What, like a time machine?
And then they bring it to...
Not like a...
Yeah,
yes, like a time machine.
Yeah, and they bring the idea to Tony, Tony's got a life now.
Yeah,
he's married Pepper.
Completely.
They have a daughter.
Yeah,
like she's
Morgan.
Yeah, she's like 4 or 5 years old.
And she's adorable.
It's like he doesn't want to just lose what he's gained from this.
Yeah, at this point, they lost so much, but he gained back something that
was equal for him.
Just as equal for him, and he doesn't want to make that.
But there's still that one part.
Yeah.
That of him that hurts.
Peter.
Yeah, Spider-Man.
Which it still hurt for me. I think it hurt for everyone who loved Tom Holland as Spider-Man, or just loved Spider-Man in general.
Yeah.
Which
I wasn't a fan of Homecoming, but
you still liked him. You liked him in Civil War.
Yeah, I still like Tom Holland as Spider-Man. I still like the character, and I still teared up quite a bit in Infinity War when he started to disappear.
And if any of you guys comment, Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good in the comments. Fuck you. We're beyond that. At least I hope we're beyond that. We need to be beyond that because I hate those memes.
What's wrong with those memes?
They hurt. They remind you of what happened, and
no, they don't.
Plus, I saw too many of those fucking things. Remember?
Yeah, it's called a meme.
Remember?
You know how many Shaggy memes I've seen?
Yeah, except those don't get old. they really don't.
That's the only way Endgame could have been better.
Like Ultra Instinct Shaggy, man!
Shaggy comes. Thanos, I'm gonna kick your ass!
Like, yeah, Thanos, you better hand over the fucking stones, man! So I can get stoned!
It was like Thanos, like, I destroyed the stones. Oh, well, let me fix that for you, man!
How did you do that? Like, that wasn't even 10% of my power!
That was only 0.1% of my power!
That would have been a completely different movie.
You really would have.
Moving on. Where were we? Tony deciding.
Tony decides.
No.
While he's deciding, they decide we gotta go find a bigger brain. Find out who could it be?
Banner.
It's Bruce Banner,
and
he's the Hulk.
He's the Hulk. Which that's an interesting perspective regarding the Hulk because. It's also interesting how he puts it, because he always thought of the Hulk as a disease, but when you start thinking of him as the cure, they sort of came to an agreement and whatnot.
Yeah, they decided, you know what, let's just join it. It's like, you got my brawn, now, and we got your brains. So now we're the best of both worlds.
Yeah,
sort of.
Which, I kind of feel bad for Mark Ruffalo, in a way, because
he's got to be a mocap the entire time.
Yes. He is mocapped the entire
with the exception
time.
of one scene, but we'll get to that.
Right. Banner. It's not in Banner's area of expertise.
Yeah, so it's like they go back, they try the theory, and they keep turning Scott to they turn him into a kid, they turn him into an old man, they turn him into a baby, and then Tony shows up and he's like, "No, I figured it out. I
figured it out last night." Yeah. So. Let's do this.
And then they go and assemble all the people. They get Rocket. They get Beer Belly Thor.
Yeah.
And Natasha goes to get Hawkeye,
I think Tristan called him Ronin.
And he's basically an assassin now.
Yeah.
Who's basically who goes after all the people who still kill and murder innocent people.
The murderers who didn't get murdered by Thanos.
Yeah, because he's just I'm trying to word it best.
It's cool, and I guess you could say it's noble, but also really not.
I mean, it's kind of selfish, and you can tell it's just because he's a very damaged person now.
Yeah, it's selfish in concept.
But at the same time, he is kind of doing people a service.
Yeah, it's selfish in concept,
because
but
he's going after Yakuza and cartels. It's like the people who will kill people despite the fact that half of them are already gone.
Yeah,
that's basically how he even says it. And it's like half the population got Thanos. You got me.
Yeah, which is understandable in that respect. And honestly, I don't see that much of an issue with it.
I mean, he's still out there just murdering people.
Yeah, but they're bad people.
Yeah, but he's still murdering them.
Fair
It's
point.
not good to murder people.
apparently in that part of the world, it's eat or be eaten.
Japan?
I guess so. Did you see the shape it was in? Then again, that could have all been
much different.
To be fair, that probably would have been that all that damage was probably just Clint. Yeah, but Natasha finds him, and they bring him back, and this is honestly might be one of my favorite parts of it, because they're catching one another up, because Nebula and Rocket were in outer space with the Guardians, and they're not familiar with some of the stuff with Earth, and Scott Lang was in the quantum realm for 5 years, so he doesn't know some of this shit either.
Yeah, it's like he doesn't even know who Thanos is.
It's like what Bruce Banner was in Infinity War.
He doesn't even know what an Infinity Stone is.
Yeah, it was like what Banner was in Infinity War at the beginning when he was getting caught up. Like, there's an Ant-Man and a Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's sort of like that, and I kind of like that. It'd be interesting, like a small scenes like that where they just play off one another and they think about that stuff, which is what they do because they in turn realize that there's a certain point in time when the Mind Stone, the Space Stone, and the Time Stone were all in one place at the same time. They also go after the Soul Stone and the Power Stone.
Yeah.
And then Thor and Rocket go after the Reality Stone.
Yeah.
Which coincidentally link up with events in previous movies.
Yeah.
The Avengers.
That whole scene with Thor and his mom.
That was good. That was nice.
Way better than Thor: The Dark World.
It is. It is. That's it's a good scene, and really emotional. If you had shared a scenario like what Thor shared, losing his mother and his love like that, but Thor is basically Big Lebowski like this.
Yeah, I think we're talking about Beer Belly Thor enough.
Yeah, but it's hard to ignore. I mean, it's right there. I mean, he was more out of shape than I am.
I don't know about that.
I mean, he can still wield lightning and kick ass, but in terms of how he physically looks, regardless, shit goes south with Rhodey and Nebula, because they're in 2014 and Nebula's future self links up with her past self and Thanos gets spoiled.
Thanos figures out what happened.
He figures out what happens in the future.
Which kind of begs the question, why did Nebula go there? But at the same time, considering the whole Doctor Strange thing in the last movie, it's like, yeah, it worked out in the end.
Yeah.
So
it is a question of why she went with them.
To be fair, I don't think they knew that would happen.
They didn't know.
And she would be the one who knows best
in that timeline.
That area.
Yeah, Rocket went with Thor because, I don't know, he's small, he can hide.
I think part of it is because Rocket and Thor kind of have a pretty tight relationship now.
Yeah. Nebula obviously went back because she knows the time that when Quill was going after the Power Stone. And that was really entertaining because in Guardians, when he's dancing around, you hear the music, then we get a small glimpse.
We get a glimpse of what it looks like from the outside looking in, and it's just him looking and sounding like a jackass.
Yeah, and Rhodey's just like, so he's an idiot.
Yep.
Yeah. And there's a lot of good callbacks and a lot of other references from the comics. Like, if we can jump back to New York for a sec, Ant-Man's going after the cube with Tony. Ant-Man's going cube. And Steve is getting the scepter.
Getting the scepter. And I like how he just steps into the elevator, and it looks like it's going to go down like a Winter Soldier. Like, yeah, the scene looks exactly like Winter Soldier. The elevator's in Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I thought it was going to go down, but then I remember they're in the past. They can't mess with stuff like that.
Yeah, and then he just leans over when he's like, I gotta call the secretary, and he's like, Hail Hydra.
Yeah. I expected everyone in the audience who read that issue to go, oh. I know I went that, but without the oh. I covered my mouth in shock because I knew what that was referencing.
Well, I don't think they were trying to reference anything. I think it was more of, okay, it's like Steve knows exactly what's going on.
Steve does know.
In this situation.
Yeah, he knows what's going on.
He knows exactly how to quell this. It's like, how do I get them to trust me? Hail Hydra.
Yeah, you can't tell me though that there isn't something of a loose thread connecting that and the fact. And
I don't really think there is
when they did the comic,
because in the comic it's legit.
Well, brainwashed, I guess, sleeper agent or some shit.
Yeah, it's a legit thing. In the movie, it's definitely not. It's more like just kind of a little nod to we know what's going on.
Yeah, unfortunately, we do get another look at the Avengers Captain America costume, which was not the best.
Which is not the best. But no, I even love it as, like, he runs into him.
Yeah.
and they have a bit of a fight.
He kicks his own ass.
Yeah, no,
which is the ass of America.
Yeah, no, and Steve's even kind of like...
Yeah, that is nice.
I was that naive a few years ago.
Yeah, he was thinking about that, and then he compliments that it was a nice ass.
Yeah, it's like, that is America's ass.
Yeah, but, which actually, that makes me wonder, because with Tony and Ant-Man getting the cube, things get fucked up, because, Secretary interrupts them, and the cube gets knocked away. Tony is about to walk away with it, but because they made Hulk take the stairs...
Yes, and then Hulk comes out, and... smacks into Tony,
and then
the
Loki
opens up, and Loki gets the cube, and he disappears.
Which that actually begs the question: why didn't Hulk just turn back into Banner?
Because he's still not calm.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, but here's another question: what happened to Loki?
Yeah, TV show.
Oh.
Yeah, that's probably what the TV show's gonna be, because Loki's kind of permanent in the universe.
Yeah, I keep forgetting.
He does not come back.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that
the theory that everybody had
with Bruce and the Ancient One, they established that time travel in movies is not the same, unless you include Back to the Future 2, which they changed something in the past. It creates a separate timeline, which is basically what they're saying. You take something important out.
Back to the Future has a lot of plot inconsistencies.
Yeah. Which I find it hilarious that Rhodey and Scott, they continuously reference those time travel movies, thinking that is the solid law of time travel, which is actually a refresher to see someone else do it somewhat differently. Yeah,
no, and then Banner's just like, no, that's not how it actually would work.
Do you mean Back to the Future's full of shit? Which, yes, it is. Which, it's an interesting discussion between Bruce and the Ancient One. Which I didn't expect
her to be there. And no, I didn't realize that the Ancient One was kind of aware of what was kind of going on.
Well, she's the Sorcerer Supreme at the time, and she has the Time Stone, so she probably got drunk one night and started looking through alternate futures.
Yeah, it's like Banner shows up, and he's like, I'm looking for Doctor Strange, and she's just like, you're like 5 years too early.
Yeah, he's performing surgery about 20 blocks that way.
Yeah.
Well, that was interesting.
Yeah, then it's like she ends up, after Hulk tells her, or Banner tells her that that Strange just gave the stone up, it's like she kind of realizes what's going on.
She probably saw that potential future.
No, I don't think she did, because she wasn't going to give it to him. No, it's that she's just like, Strange is supposed to end up being the best of us, so he would only give it away in good judgment. That's
good. Yeah, the stuff with Asgard and Thor's mom was good, and then what do you think happened? Well, we don't see how Rocket gets it with Natalie Portman, because they're probably
something got stuck up someone's ass.
And then she screamed, and then next thing we know, Rocket's getting chased by Asgardians.
Yeah.
Which, alternate timeline still, but do you think the actual Thor in that timeline...
because Arthur took Mjolnir.
I am still worthy. Yes, and you left your counterpart without any means of defense.
That's just kind of one of the things that I'm not going to question it.
Yeah, because they're not going to go like, hello, welcome back to Thor the Dark World, Earth 136. But the other bit of importance is back with the Guardians timeline.
We already just established what happened there, but there's the other group.
I forget what it was called, what the planet was called, but Nat and
they go to
Clint go to get the Soul Stone. They come across Red Skull again,
and he tells them, "One of you's gotta die."
And Clint knows that it has to be him, but Natasha still has Red in her ledger.
Decides that it needs to be her. Clint decides it needs to be him. So they kind of get into a bit of a...
They fight over who's gonna commit suicide.
Yeah, and then they end up both going over... And then they both get stuck there.
Yeah, Nat sticks Clint so that he won't fall.
Yes, and then they're both just hanging there, and
by an arm.
This is the part that actually made me tear up, is that she lets go.
Yeah.
Black Widow's dead.
Black Widow is perma-dead.
She can't come back.
Yeah, and I kind of expected Clint... Well, actually...
I was expecting it to be Hawkeye.
I expected Clint to scream no.
I wasn't expecting either of them to die, really.
Yeah, when he got his hand on the Soul Stone, like, afterwards, I expected Clint to scream no.
I didn't want him to.
I'm glad it didn't.
That would have been too much.
Yeah,
no,
but...
he just kind of just stands there and just clenches it and starts to cry.
Yeah, and then when they all...
And then they all reconvene.
With, past Nebula...
Yeah, with the wrong Nebula, because they ended up getting switched out.
Yeah. And before past Nebula brings past Thanos to the future, and his entire fucking Legion, they used one of Tony's robotic, nanotech type things to, make a new Infinity Gauntlet. This time for the right arm.
Yeah.
Because in the Infinity War it was a left-handed gauntlet.
Yeah.
Which is not important, but I thought I'd just mention that. And they argue who's going to use it. Which would you allow Thor to use it in that condition?
God no.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no. It's just, and Hulk's like, no, because it almost killed Thanos. It's got to be me.
Yeah, because
so he does it. He snaps, and then it's not completely clear, but
Clint gets a
call from his wife,
and Scott sees a bunch
everybody's
of birds.
able to kind of realize right there.
Yeah, and Scott sees the birds outside, which that actually brought something up. 50% of all living things got wiped out.
Yeah, so 50% of the birds, 50% of the animals.
Plants.
So really, Thanos didn't change anything.
He really didn't.
Okay, and you guys thought I was being an idiot when I said Thanos' plan was stupid and terrible. Thanos is a dumbass.
Hey, that was then, this is now.
It's like he should have just created more resources. Everybody's good. Nobody needed to die. But no, everybody's gotta die.
Well, 50% of everybody's gotta die.
Yeah, that doesn't change the problem.
Especially if it kills 50% of plants.
Yeah, that's gonna kill 50% of every living thing.
Yeah, that's gonna thin out oxygen on certain planets. Which, afterwards, hell rains down from above in the form of Thanos' ship, which we see Scott...
Yeah, which to clarify... Nebula, the Nebula from the past, brought Thanos' warship and everything to the present.
Yeah, and he fires a bunch of missiles, which one of them explodes outside of where Scott is looking outside, and we thought Scott was dead.
I thought Scott was dead.
and then when he pulls himself out of the rubble...
And he's small, and I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, we were both like, oh, thank God. And I was like, oh, thank God, when Clint was still alive. Because, we lost Nat. We don't need to lose Clint.
Clint's been through enough.
Clint has been through enough. Maybe that's why they decided to spare him.
Probably.
Yeah, but they blow up the Avengers compound, and it's nothing but a crater left, basically. And it's on the verge, on the edge of the island, so it's close to flooding, too.
Yeah.
And
then it's like, and we kind of get that scene from Secret Wars with Hulk.
Yeah, with Hulk.
Where he's holding everything up.
He's using one arm.
He's trying to make sure that Rhodey
and Rocket
get out.
Yeah, which Rhodey's suit is completely kaput, by the way.
Yeah.
And so are his legs, so he has to like crawl in order to free Rocket.
And Rocket's thankfully fine.
But. Yeah, Rocket's adorable. He can't die. Yeah, but Hulk's... I guess Hulk is left-handed now. Or Banner's left-handed.
Well, his arm will probably heal because his arm went essentially burned and everything after the Infinity Gauntlet.
Like up to his neck and his right ear. That much of burn damage because that's what happens.
It'll most likely heal.
Yeah. Hulk does have a healing factor in the comics, so he should be able to... He'll be fine in a few months.
Yeah.
Especially if he decides to stay like that, which he probably should for the healing.
Let's get to the part where Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor confront Thanos.
Alright. So, the Trinity of Marvel. Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor.
At least MCU Marvel.
Well, classic Marvel also has...
No, because classic Marvel is Spider-Man. It's all Spider-Man.
No, the original Avengers.
Yeah, the original Avengers, not Marvel as a whole.
I guess that's fair. Yeah, MCU, Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man.
Yeah, they go up to Thanos, and Thanos is like, fuck you guys. You know what? I'm gonna just kill everybody now.
Which his plan is stupid.
Yeah, I'm gonna rewrite the entire universe, and everything's gonna start over, and then they'll be grateful.
Bathed and born by blood.
Yeah.
Which Captain America takes his mighty shield, Iron Man suits up, and Thor has now...
Mjolnir and Stormbreaker. What an each hand.
So he's packing double the lightning power, and you can tell Thor is pissed.
Yeah.
Thor's pissed, Steve's pissed, Tony's pissed, everyone is fucking pissed. And
they just go to fight each other.
We get a good 3-on-1 battle for a bit with Thanos nearly getting the edge on Thor after pretty much knocking out Tony, and we get something that was somewhat teased in Age of Ultron. Not really.
Yeah, it was teased a little bit, just a smidge, but now it's just full blown.
It's confirmed.
Captain America throws Mjolnir.
Captain America throws the mighty hammer. That's not as good as Mighty Shield.
No, but
he wields Mjolnir. He throws it.
Yeah, he actually puts up a really good fight against Thanos.
He bounces. He throws his shield, throws Mjolnir. It does that vibranium sonic attack. And he throws the shield and he bounces it off of Mjolnir and he does the same thing again.
He does lightning shit.
He's using the powers of Captain America and Thor against Thanos, and Thor is fucking thrilled. He's like, I knew you were worthy. Which, funny enough, because in Age of Ultron he was concerned.
Yeah. But by the end he can't do it. Thanos beats it down and destroys the shield.
Which that kind of hurt a bit because
we've seen the shield get broken a few times.
I know, but I didn't expect Thanos' double wielded glaive to be stronger than vibranium. Well, then again, vibranium is alien too.
Everything's alien.
Aliens.
No.
Yeah, but Thor is down. Captain America's struggling to get back up. Iron Man is down.
Yep. And then
everyone else is still scattered too.
Yeah. And then Cap gets a call on his intercom.
Hey Cap, it's Sam. Do you read me?
Yeah. Falcon. And then a bunch of portals open up.
No, not sky portals. Doctor Strange portals.
Yeah.
And
Black
everyone
comes through
fucking shows up.
Everybody shows up. We got Guardians of the Galaxy, Doctor Strange, Black Panther,
Wong and his sorcerers,
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's alive! I was so happy. Everyone started applauding at that point when the reinforcements were showing up. Oh yeah, Wasp is there too.
Yeah, Wasp. Pepper Potts is there, decked out in Iron Man gear.
Yeah, Rescue is officially confirmed in the MCU. That's actually the name of the suit that Tony gave Pepper. Kind of fitting, but either way, Gwyneth Paltrow kicks ass.
Yes.
In this movie,
at least her stunt woman does.
Yeah, Pepper Potts kicks ass.
Yeah, but everybody comes through and they just start going to town.
But not before we finally hear Captain America say, Avengers Assemble. We finally got it! Yeah! May not be a big deal for you, but it is for me.
The movie didn't even make it much of a big deal, honestly, because he kind of just whispers assemble.
Don't ruin this for me. But yeah, they start wrecking his entire forces. Black Panther's using vibranium, slashing with his claws. Thor's smacking it around with Captain America and Thor actually ended up switching weapons. And he's just, no, give me back Stormbreaker. You take Mjolnir.
Yeah, but then everybody goes to town. Spider-Man reunites with Iron Man. And there's a hug.
There's a touch. It's touching.
Spider-Man's just like, I wasn't feeling good. And then I was all dusty. And then all of a sudden I'm back. And then Wizard Guy tells me it's been like 5 years. And then Tony just hugs him.
It's like, this is nice.
And then they're all like, we gotta return the stones to the past now before Thanos gets them.
And so Ant-Man and Wasp start tinkering with the thing to try and get it running again. Everyone's playing keep away with the gauntlet. It goes to Black Panther, then it goes to Spider-Man, and everyone's trying to defend Spider-Man. Valkyrie, rescue, and we actually see Spidey activate the instant kill against Thanos' disposable minions.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was fucking funny. I love that, man.
And then something I thought was awesome was when Scarlet Witch.
Oh,
just
take it, dude. Take it.
Yeah, no, Thanos. Who was it? Spider-Man that he was about to beat up, essentially.
I think it was Black Panther.
It was somebody, but then Scarlet Witch steps in, and she's just like, you took everything from me.
I don't even know who you are.
Yeah, and then she's just like, you will. And then she just fucking goes to town on him. She just about fucking kills him. And then Thanos is like, unleash everything onto this battlefield.
But sir, a truth.
Everything.
And I was afraid that a lot of them were gonna like get wasted, but thankfully they have sorcerers with protective magic spells.
Yeah.
And like they defend most of the Avengers from the Thing and Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange uses his magic to make sure that
they don't get flooded away.
They don't get flooded by. It would be the Atlantic.
I think.
It was just Thanos makes the Atlantic Ocean essentially flood.
Yeah. And they keep going, and then the firing stops because it started firing on a new target that just entered the atmosphere.
And then Captain Marvel shows up.
Captain Marvel does the best thing in her movie, and that's destroy spaceships.
She just does all she's good at.
That's all she's good for. Destroying vehicles.
To be fair, no, she does actually do something cool afterwards.
Yeah, she actually manages to start curb stomping Thanos until he's like, no, fuck you.
Yeah, and then he just grabs the Power Stone out of the glove and just beats her down. You know, and then everybody's just going after the glove.
And then Tony does a sleight of hand after Doctor Strange gives him.
It's like, this is that moment.
Trust me, dude. And then he sleight of hands the stone.
Yeah, Thanos tries to snap. And it's like, what?
And then
you see Iron Man's got him. He slides them onto his.
But I am inevitable, and I am Iron Man.
And then Iron Man snaps, and then Thanos' army turns to dust.
I expected Thanos. No, that would have been too cheesy if Thanos went, I don't feel so good.
No, I would have laughed.
That would have been fun. That would have been amazing. Yeah, but Thanos turns to dust. Thanos is dead. But unfortunately, so is one of our Guardians. Not Guardians of the Galaxy, Guardians of the Earth.
Avengers.
One of our Avengers.
I wouldn't even call Tony a Guardian. Tony fucked up big time and almost destroyed the Earth a few times.
Ultron. My fault. But yeah, obviously because using the stones all at once, since he's only human, it
kills him.
Yeah, but he has good parting with Rhodey and Peter, and then
the Peter one made me sad.
Yeah, the one with Peter was.
It's like Peter's just like, oh, we won though. It's like you can't go.
I think it's actually fitting that he started it all and it ends with him.
Yeah.
And after he does die, we
cut to
his funeral.
Funeral,
which people were laughing when it was the old memorial that proof that Tony Stark has a heart. I thought that was perfect.
That's one of the reasons I don't like a lot of audiences, because of
touching moments appear funny to them.
The Fate Stay Night, the second Fate Stay Night movie.
What did they laugh at points in there?
They laughed at some pretty disgusting points.
But yeah, we see everyone there. We see Pepper and Tony, Rhodey. Banner is still Hulk, and he has a suit on.
Well, I don't think we're going to see regular Banner again.
I don't think so either. Yeah, but we go through everyone, and then Bucky, Steve, Sam, Wanda, the Guardians are there too.
The Guardians, surprisingly, they just hold on that for a second.
They're showing their
respect. Pan around Captain Marvel
straight to Nick Fury.
And Nick Fury's there.
Yeah. I'd laugh my ass off if Sam Jackson got paid more than Brie Larson. And he didn't even have a line. But yeah, and I'd like to discuss this point too, because Happy's there too, and like he's...
That's a bit... that's actually a really good scene, because Jon Favreau, he's the one who directed Iron Man.
But from a different point as well, because he's like...
That's the main point I think they were trying to get at.
Well, I saw a different point then. Listen to the point that I saw it from, because he's comforting Morgan, Tony's daughter, because also after they saw Tony's final memento before he left to do the time travel jump, and he asks her if she's hungry, and she says that she is, and what she wants to eat is a cheeseburger, which... That was the first thing Tony wanted after he got back from the desert in Iron Man 1.
Yeah.
There, two things. I want an American cheeseburger, and I want you to call a press conference. It's just... That must have hit Happy hard, because he's been Tony's guard and friend for a good while, and he sees Tony in Morgan, so...
No, I think that was just touching. I think they were going more on the it's Jon Favreau route, since he's the one who directed Iron Man. He's the one who started this.
Yeah, but I'd like to think it's both. But following...
I think the cheeseburger part was just a reference.
Yeah, but it hit home for me. But following that, we get a few closers with Thor leaving Valkyrie in charge.
Yeah, and Thor's a part of the Guardians of the Galaxy now.
That's right.
Oh, we didn't mention that Gamora's back.
Oh yeah,
technically,
past Gamora came to the future with past Thanos and his past worship.
Which during the battle, Quill he runs into her.
And he gets kicked in the nuts.
Gets kicked in the nuts because she doesn't really know who he is. And then Gamora just turns to Nebula and is like, with him? And Nebula's just like, it was either him or the tree.
Which is sad, because, but fair. So yeah, and now Nebula's also a part of the Guardians, which this makes me interested even more to see Guardians 3, what they're doing, because I think they're going to start searching for Gamora again.
Possibly. I'm more excited that Thor is a part of them now, and that he butts heads with Quill.
He does, and that's funny. I don't care who you are, but that is funny. And we get, was there anything else before Steve?
No, not really. Nothing important.
Nothing important, at least. But Steve, Bruce, Sam, and Bucky are preparing to take the stones back, and Steve is the only one going. So he takes the stones, he takes Mjolnir, Banner sends him back, 5 seconds passes, they're going to zap him back in 5 seconds, but he doesn't come back. And we see an old Steve Rogers on the edge of the water, seeing that he's lived a fulfilling life, and he passes the mantle of Captain America onto Sam Falcon. And, well, first and foremost, what happened to Mjolnir that he took? Did he return that to Thor's time?
Yeah, I think so.
That makes sense. And
crisis averted.
Yeah, crisis averted. And we do end on a really good thing, because Cap and Peggy finally got that dance.
Yep.
Which it was obvious that...
And the movie ends with that.
And I think that's a good ending.
Yep. If there were no more Marvel movies, I'd be completely satisfied.
Except there are more Marvel movies.
Damn it.
Still, this is the end of the Infinity Saga, which, depending on how they feel about future events, is still a good ending to a great lineup of films.
They can't make any more of certain characters.
They can't do Thanos. They can't do Black Widow.
No more Thanos.
Black
Widow movie's gonna be a prequel.
Yeah, it's gonna be a prequel.
Just you can't set that now.
You can't.
She's dead. She's perma gone.
It would be weird if they did it as they opened that movie as she was falling to her death in the Soul Stone, and her life flashed before her eyes. That'd just be weird.
That would actually be wrong.
That would be wrong. It would suck. But going through it again, it's still a great movie.
Yeah.
God, this movie was...
This was not my most anticipated movie of the year, but...
It was one of mine, but it was...
Yeah. My Endgame comes next month.
Which we'll do our own kaiju cast about that. But yeah, it's rare that I am left speechless, but I think this movie in a way left me speechless towards the end. Because while I do have words, it's hard for me to get them out. You know?
Yeah. I guess that's one of the problems. We'll probably end up coming back to Endgame eventually later on in the year.
Maybe.
Yeah. Because we were mostly just giddily summarizing the movie for you here.
Yeah. With our own
little flavor text.
Oh, this could be the start of our movies in minutes. But yeah, that was good. It was a good movie. It was a good ending to a series of films that, while not all great, had some really good moments. And seeing some of these characters' lives come to a close like this, it was satisfying.
Yep.
What about you? Anything else from you?
Not too much.
Except that you're looking forward to Guardians 3.
Yeah, Guardians, that's really all I'm looking forward to at this point.
Yeah, I'm still going to see Far From Home, because it's obviously going to take place after Endgame.
Yeah.
Which, I'm curious how Tony's death is going to impact the rest of the universe.
Yeah. I know Nick Fury's in Far From Home.
Yeah, Nick Fury's in Far From Home. And, yeah, that's the only one that they showed us in the trailers, but yeah, we'll get Nick Fury there.
Yeah, we'll figure out at Comic-Con what's coming up in the future.
Yeah, Black Widow's gonna be a prequel.
You can't do that!
Yeah.
She's gone!
Yeah, we're supposed to be
That was the death I wasn't expecting!
We're supposed to get an Eternals movie, which I don't know what the hell that's gonna be about.
I have no idea.
It'd be interesting if it was just a court case. Like them talking around a circle about what the fuck just happened with Infinity War. No, yeah. You think Tristan's gonna be disappointed that Adam Warlock didn't show up in this since they teased him at the end of Guardians 2?
He was supposed to be in Guardians 3.
Oh, okay. Because I remember Tristan talking about seeing...
Tristan's gonna nitpick the fuck out of this movie regardless.
Of course he is. He's a DC fanboy, not a Marvel fanboy.
Yeah.
He's a Marvel
He's not a for Marvel.
No, he nitpicks the shit out of it.
Yeah.
Which, he actually accepts that nickname, Marvel That probably got us demonetized, didn't it?
Yes, thanks, Brendan.
I'll censor it out.
There's some words we're not allowed to say up here anymore.
Yeah, well...
In fact, we should probably look up a list of them. Yeah,
YouTube keeps going downhill. I'll censor the word out, don't worry. Either way, though, that's all that I know about the future Marvel movies, and I'm satisfied.
Where can you go from here? Basically nowhere. You've had a complete... I have a feeling that people are just going to stop being interested after this movie.
I don't know. They'll still go see them, but
even Friday the 13th, once the 90s came around, people were looking at that series like, what, they're still making these?
we don't talk about the Friday the 13th movies. But yeah, that was
It's gonna go the way of the Western at some point.
probably.
Probably very soon. Because Dark Phoenix doesn't look very good.
Yeah, we got a number of trailers at the start of this. Godzilla,
Dark Phoenix.
Dark Phoenix, which does not look good. I forgot what the other trailers were. You know, I'm surprised they didn't play Far From Home's trailer, since it was a Marvel movie. Yeah, we had our hopes too high if we were going to see a trailer for It Chapter 2.
Yeah, why is there no trailer for that yet? The movie comes out in like 4 months!
I need to see a trailer for it.
You're waiting too long, guys.
Yeah. Well, I think we should stop here, don't you?
Yep.
Alright, so we'll catch you guys at the next podcast.
Later.